I don't have children, but I have a dog. And she doesn't understand a lot of words. She does not understand no. But that's a whole different story. So I was printing my talk out today, and mixed in with it was the newest member of our congregation. I don't know if you'll all be able to see this, but it kind of thrilled me. Can you see it? Is there a way to put that, make sure that that's put up there? Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm done. Okay, breathe with me, please. Let's get that image out of our minds and let's breathe together. Taking a deep breath. And another. And one more, please. Here you go, Mom, the nurse said. It was 2 hours after my C-section, and I was about to see my son for the first time. High-pitched cries grew louder as the nurse brought him to me. Oh no, I thought, what have I gotten myself into? Here's Mom, said the nurse, putting him in my arms. A tired red face looked up at me. As I placed his head on my chest, my mind stuck on the word Mom. I frantically wondered, would I be a good mom? I didn't notice the silence. Isn't that something, the nurse said. He hasn't stopped crying since we took him out of the OR. And now look at him, so happy. He knows his mama. At that moment, a calm reassurance rushed over me as I thought to myself, trust this. Trust this beautiful little boy who knew you as his mother even before you did. I just love that story to tell on Mother's Day. It's such a sweet story. And you know what? In the cosmic scheme of things, maybe it's true. In some metaphysical teachings, they say that we choose our parents before we're even born. And maybe we do. I don't know. Maybe there's an intuitive part of us who knows even before we're born who our best life teachers would be. Now, if that sounds like predestination, like we don't have a choice, I don't mean it to sound like that. I absolutely believe in free will, no question about it. I believe that we are always at choice every minute of every day, but I also believe that there is a wisdom and an intelligence within us that was with us before we were born, that is with us during our time here on earth, and is with us when we move on to our next experience. You could call it whatever you want to call it. I call it my higher self, or the God within, or that life force energy that's expressing itself as me individually. And that intelligence is always guiding, always directing us to be who we are and who we came here to be when we listen to it. In fact, Ernest Holmes, he didn't say anything about, choosing our parents, but he did have this to say. He said, we come from life with a capital L. We come from life and are in life. So we are one with life. And we know that instinctive life within has brought us to the point of self-recognition. So maybe, just maybe, as little godlings waiting to be born, maybe we intuitively select our parents, those who will teach us what we need to learn for our soul's evolution. like the baby in the story I just told. Maybe it's because he knew who his mama was. He knew her before she knew him. And I don't know about you, but I find that somewhat empowering to think that something as important as birth and coming here and graduating into Earth School, that something like that doesn't happen just by chance. That we are here to learn. We are here to grow. We are here to expand, because we teach in this teaching that life is ongoing and it is always expanding. So that means our consciousness, our awareness, that part of us that is pure spirit, is also always ongoing and always expanding. So who is to say that we don't consciously choose the parents we had in order for that growth to happen? I'm not saying it's true. Just something interesting I kind of noodle around in my mind sometimes. And whether or not you buy that, it's fine if you don't. There is one thing that we can all agree on, and that is everyone who is within the sound of my voice, nay, everyone everywhere, had a mother. We may not have always had a wonderful relationship with our mothers, but each one of us had a mother. A human woman gave birth to each one of us. And for most of us, we were raised by that woman who did the very best she knew how to do. Because there's no instruction manual for how to be a parent, how to be a mother. It is the ultimate on-the-job training. Am I right, Leslie? Leslie, am I right, Amy? It is the on-the-job training. And again, who we are and how we show up in the world is due in no small part to the mothers that we had, to the mothers who raised us. And not all of us were raised by the woman who gave birth to us. Some of us were raised by someone who chose to be our mothers through adoption, through marriage, through simply love. For instance, I have a friend who has 2 adopted children. And even though she did not bring them into the world, she certainly loved and cared for them throughout their life. In fact, on the adoption papers of one of the children, it said, "I wasn't expected, I was selected." I love that. I think that's really sweet. So today, we are honoring mothers. Not only the mothers who gave birth to us, but also to the women in our lives who have mothered, who have nurtured and loved us. So ladies, thank you. You are loved. You are appreciated. Happy Mother's Day. What's also interesting is that the desire to love and to nurture the young is not just in the human world. It goes throughout nature. For instance, one day, my nephew, he was probably about 7 or 8 years old, came home with a little teeny tiny little kitten that had been abandoned by its mother. And my sister Beth, a lot of you know Beth, they had a family dog who had given birth to a litter of pups about 6 months before that. And later that evening, after Andy had brought home the kitten, Beth noticed that the kitten was suckling the mama dog, and that the mama dog was licking the kitten as if it was one of her own. And to make the story even more touching, because I just love that story, even though it had been 6 months since she gave birth to a litter of pups, the mama dog began producing milk so that the kitten could drink. So that urge to nurture life, it goes beyond. It goes beyond species. It goes beyond the animal world even. It goes to the entire world. This earth, this planet, which is the second part of what I wanted to talk about today. I called my talk Honoring the Mother, not only to honor the wonderful women in our lives, but also to honor the mother, as in Mother Earth, that aspect of the universe that is the divine feminine, life-giving and fertile and nurturing and kind and abundant and loving. I also wanted to talk about it because everything, have you noticed that phrase, everything is going on right now? Nobody calls it the pandemic anymore, or the virus, or by its name, or anything like this. We just kind of lump it all together and say, everything that's going on right now. So with everything that's going on right now, we kind of skipped Earth Day, which was April 22nd. In fact, it was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. We started way back in 1970. Some of you weren't even born. Some of you weren't even born. Some of you. Okay, of the 6 people in the room, half weren't even born yet. So many youngsters, the original purpose of Earth Day was to raise the awareness about how we humans were doing damage to Mother Earth. And it went from this tiny little grassroots effort back in 1970 to an observance that when there isn't something going on, it has close to 1 billion people who observe it. Now, I wish I could say that in these 50 years since the first Earth Day, that all the concerns about the environment and our planet have been alleviated. And that wouldn't be true. We still have a long way to go. However, this is how evolution happens, folks. This is how growth happens. That awareness that got started back in 1970 has given birth to several generations, several of whom are sitting in this room right now, to several generations for whom taking care of the planet is part of their DNA. Never ceases to amaze me how aware most Gen Xers and millennials are about how to care for the environment. It's just amazing. If you don't believe me, ask anyone under the age of 50 what goes into the different disposal bins in your house. They just know, don't they? They just know. I don't know. I have to ask. I have to check a list. No, they just know. Yeah, whatever. No, they know. It's probably because they have grown up with the idea of protecting Mother Earth. It's part of their collective consciousness. Now, some of you may be sitting there feeling a little disgruntled, thinking that I'm making some sort of a political statement, because I know it's a political hot button. And it is not my intention to make political statements, because I don't do that. What I am doing is teaching a spiritual truth. And that spiritual truth is we are all one. We are all connected. We are all made of the same living energy. We are all birthed out of the same substance. We all breathe the same air. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, put it this way: you belong to the universe in which you live. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You are as much a part of it as the sun, the earth, and the air. There is something in you telling you this, like a voice echoing from some mountaintop of inward vision, like a light whose origin no man has seen, like an impulse welling up from an invisible source. You know this. We are connected. We all have come from the same source. So maybe it isn't a coincidence that we are here at this time, during this time. Maybe like the baby in our story, something in us chose to be here right now, to do this work. Maybe, like the song we sang at the beginning of the service, maybe we're the ones we've been waiting for. Maybe we are the ones to help reawaken ourselves and others to the sacredness of life here on earth. Because here's the bottom line. Like a loving mother, nature will always be here for us. Nature is unconcerned with the drama that we let ourselves go through. I mean, we here in Calgary, in Alberta, are just now beginning to see the very, very beginnings of spring. Nature is unconcerned. She just does what she does, but she does it lovingly and nurturingly. Is that a word? Nurturingly? Yeah. So nature will always be here for us. And so as her loving offspring, we can be there for her as well. So I want to close with some excerpts from a piece that is attributed to Chief Seattle of the Suquamish tribe of the Pacific Northwest. It is said, and I cannot say for sure that it's true, but it is said that these words were in response to the American government wanting to buy some of their land. So this is what Chief Seattle had to say. The president in Washington sends word that he wishes to buy our land. But how can you buy or sell the sky or the land? The idea is strange to us. If we do not own the freshness of the air and the sparkle of the water, how can you buy them? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every meadow, every humming insect, all are holy in the memory and experience of my people. We are part of the earth, and it is part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The bear, the deer, the great eagle, these are our brothers. The rocky crest, the dew in the meadow, the body heat of a pony, and man, all belong to the same family. The shining water that moves in the streams and rivers is not just water, but the blood of our ancestors. If we sell you our land, you must remember that it is sacred. Will you teach your children what we have taught our children? That the earth is their mother. What befalls the earth befalls all the sons of the earth. This we know. The earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. All things are connected like the blood that unifies us all. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. We love this earth as a newborn loves its mother's heartbeat. So if we sell you our land, love it as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it. Hold in your mind the memory of the land as it was when you received it. Preserve the land for all children and love it as the mother loves us. So happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day and happy Mother Earth Day. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait till we're back together again. And until that time, I'll keep seeing you here and you'll keep seeing me here on Sundays. Have a lovely day, and so it is. Thank you.